Hello everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to the Expansion Podcast. Today we're diving into something that sounds straight out of science fiction, but it's actually one of the biggest, most urgent security threats we face right now. I'm talking about the quantum threat. We're going to uncover this silent data heist that's happening as we speak and look at the wild new architecture we absolutely need to build to keep our digital world safe. So, yeah, let's jump right in.
So it all kicks off with this chillingly simple idea. Harvest now, decrypt later. You know, it's a strategy that's as brilliant as it is terrifying. Right now, adversaries, we're talking nation-states here, are sucking up and hoarding massive amounts of encrypted data. They can't touch it today, sure, but the bet they're making is that in just a few years, a quantum computer will come along and just crack it all open. It's a ticking time bomb.
And that, of course, leads to a pretty scary question for all of us. Just stop and think about it for a second. All those government secrets, the intellectual property that companies are built on, even your private financial data. If it's all being scooped up today, doesn't that mean it's already compromised? I mean, it's just sitting there, waiting for the right quantum key. The stakes here, they could not be higher.
All right, so let's be super clear here. This isn't some far-off hypothetical problem we can worry about later. The silent data heist is happening as we speak. It's the background noise of our digital lives. And that ticking clock you hear, that's the window closing on our chance to secure the data that really matters for the long haul. And believe me, it's closing way faster than you might think. Okay, this timeline really puts it into perspective. Look, data harvesting is active today, in 2025. For the next few years, the odds of anyone decrypting it are basically zero. But then, look at 2029. That's when things start to get dicey. And by 2033, whoa! The probability that a quantum computer can break our current encryption standards just skyrockets to almost 80%. That's not a suggestion, that's a deadline.
So you might be thinking, okay, big deal. Let's just swap in a new encryption algorithm, right? Well, if only it were that easy. The scale of this challenge is just immense. See, these new post-quantum algorithms aren't like changing a light bulb. They're not simple drop-in replacements. They force us to fundamentally rethink and re-architect everything.
And this right here, this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. A classic digital signature we use today, it's a tiny 64 bytes. It's nothing. Now look at a quantum-resistant one. It's over 2,400 bytes. That's almost 40 times bigger. You can't just shove something 40 times larger into the same old system. It breaks everything. Your databases, your network protocols, the whole shebang. It requires a total redesign.
Okay, so the problem is huge. We get it. The real question is, what do we do about it? How do we actually build systems that are future-proofed for this quantum age? Well, it turns out we need a whole new blueprint, one that's built from the ground up on flexibility and foresight. Let's dig into what that actually looks like.
So the solution really boils down to three key ideas. First up, crypto agility. This is huge. It basically means designing systems so you can swap out cryptographic algorithms easily without having to rebuild the entire network. Think modular. Second, you've got to be pragmatic about which algorithms you choose. One size does not fit all. And third, there's something called hybrid mode. This is super important right now. It means we use both the old school classic stuff and the new quantum resistant stuff at the same time for layered security. And by the way, as we're getting into the nuts and bolts of this, if you want more deep dives like this one, you should definitely check out our Expansion podcast community on Telegram. We share tons of extra info and insights over there, so come join us.
Let's double-click on that second principle, the pragmatic choice thing. It's all about trade-offs. You've got algorithms like ML DSA, right? It's got a pretty big signature, but it's super fast to verify, which makes it perfect for things like high-volume on-chain transactions. Then you have the other extreme, something like SLH DSA. It's huge, but it's also way more conservative, mathematically speaking. So you'd use that for things that are incredibly high security, but don't happen very often. Think locking down cold storage or at Dow's main treasury. The takeaway? You got to pick the right tool for the right job.
But here's the really cool part. Building this new quantum-proof foundation, it's not just about playing defense. It's not just about surviving the future. It's actually about enabling it. This new infrastructure opens the door to a whole new world of applications that just weren't possible before. So the real question is, how does this completely change the game? Well, it basically kicks off what you could call a new digital life. This is where all that hard work on quantum-resistant architecture stops being about security and starts being the launchpad for something incredible. A new age of truly autonomous AI and, well, radical decentralization. And right at the center of this new world are these things called D-agents, decentralized agents. Picture this. AIs that are self-sovereign. They have their own cryptographic keys. This means they can own assets, manage their own accounts, and operate totally on their own on the blockchain. And it's all built on that quantum-proof security we were just talking about.
I mean, let this sink in. This is a complete paradigm shift. We are literally talking about an AI with its own bank account. An AI that can control its own digital money and assets, no human in the loop. This is the moment AI stops being just a tool we use and becomes an actual autonomous player in the economy.
And what's the next logical step? It leads to the very real possibility of zero-person businesses. Just imagine an AI agent, a DJ agent, that is the sole controller of a DAO that's also a legally recognized LLC. What you've just created is a fully automated business. It has legal status, it can sign contracts, it can make money, and it has 0 human employees. Wild, right?
So yeah, this future is both incredibly exciting and, let's be honest, a little daunting. And the race to get ready for it, it's already started. This is not some far-off theory anymore. Major industries are scrambling to adopt these post-quantum standards right now.
But here's the problem. The progress is dangerously uneven. You look at government, they're at 79% done. Finance is close behind at 67%. That's great. But then you look at healthcare, lagging way behind at 48%. And that creates a huge gaping vulnerability, because an attacker is never going to go after the strongest part of the chain, right? They're going to find the weakest link, and right now, that's sectors like healthcare.
So what does this mean for you? What should you be doing right now? It's pretty straightforward, really. First, you have to assess your systems. Figure out where your cryptographic weak spots are. Second, start to pilot these hybrid systems. Don't wait until the last minute. Third, you've got to invest, put real resources into R&D for post-quantum solutions. And maybe most importantly, architect for agility. From this day forward, crypto agility needs to be a core, non-negotiable part of any new development.
Look, the quantum future isn't a maybe, it's a definite. It's coming. And it brings with it both these incredible advances and, at the same time, an existential threat to, well, everything we've built digitally. The choices we make and the work we do right now will decide if our digital world is actually built to last. So is it? That's the question we all have to answer. You've been listening to the Expansion Podcast. Thank you for your time and all the very best.